Hey everybody, just want to make a quick video and show you where we're at, the progress we're making. Um, I'm waiting on the weather right now before I can epoxy primer, so I'm trying to get everything else ready. A little bit of final touches on these fender well patches. I got these back in. I'm still not exactly 100% certain what they're for. They're not jacking points. Here's the jack point right here in the rear. I believe what they do is they're a stiffener for the rear end of the quarter where it meets the wheel well there, but I'm not 100% on that, but I put them back. As you can see, I went ahead and switched gears and I started working on the cross member. I wanted to get that all laid out and ready to go so that the once I get it into, I'm going to epoxy primer it first and then put the cross member on. And the reason for that is that it will be very difficult to get up underneath that thing once it's in place. So we'll epoxy primer it first and then we'll put the cross member on. But I did want to go, like I said, get ahead and lay it out. I did have to modify. If you remember, I was always suspecting that I was going to have to do that because of they clearly didn't seem to fit. I guess they added extra material. I don't really know. They're aftermarket. But I did have to make some changes to them to get them to fit. And what I did was cut them back. I had to cut them back, and I made like a tab that will attach to that. I also had to cut them down. I don't know if you can see that or not. I haven't welded it up yet. Like I said, I'm not installing them yet. But cut that down and lower it, like make it come in at an angle to join that. And then I got a pretty good fit. Right now I've just got a couple of sheet metal screws holding them into place because there's no other way to do it to check the fit. Also had to cut the length where they meet the cross here in the middle. Each one of them had to have about 1.5 inches or so cut off. And the only place I'm going to have some problems is in the rear back here. As you can see, they don't really fit where they're supposed to. I'm going to lop this off here, right here. And but what I'll do is I'm going to make a fill piece that will go in behind here and come up to here, and then probably a piece on top of this, a plate that spans over and attaches to this rail. Because if you look on the bottom, on this one here, you have the same type of thing. If you can see why this tab is provided on the bottom and not on the top, I have no idea. It doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense or have any rhyme or reason. I did have to cut back here. And again, I'll probably have to make some fill pieces to get this closed up or whatever. And then I'm going to do an internal frame coating on those, as well as on the rails and so forth. That internal frame coating will go on before I epoxy primer, and that way when I get to if any of it runs out, I'll have that. I would like to take a moment and thank Dieter, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to say it, but he sent me some pictures of his 850 project and the cross member on his car, which is very helpful and useful, and I appreciate that a lot. So thanks for that. So we're moving right along. Like I said, we've got just a little bit of body work that we were trying to finish up there. Right down there, I've got that all put, sanded out and everything. And that's where, if you remember, I had to make a repair there. So it'll pretty much be ready to go. I'm following the weather, and it seems like it's going to be probably another 2 weeks before it's really warm enough to go ahead and shoot that epoxy. It'll go up in the 70s, but then it's going to go down really cold, temperature drop back down at night, which means the metal will probably be cold for a while. So I want to make sure that it's, I think the minimum temperature for spraying is like 60 degrees, that it's going to stay that way. And I've got enough stuff to kind of get, keep busy or whatever. So we're making good progress. Really, I've got the Raptor liner. Once this is in epoxy, We'll put the cross member on. We'll put the liner on, the bed liner, and we should be ready to lower it. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to build basically a table. I've got some wheels down here. I don't know. Let's see if I can get over here and show you. You can see them down there in the bottom. I've got 4 of those actually. 2 of them are locking. I'm just basically going to make a table that will come up about 3 feet, 36 inches, something like that. And if you see the way I did this rotisserie thing here, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, this is this member that's going across here. It's really a mess down there. It's bolted in right down here, and it's on the other side too. And I did that to tie them together. But when come times to lower the car, I'll remove the one on this side, and that way it will give me access under the car to slide the table under it, and then it should be relatively easy to lower the car on it and get the rotisserie out. I'm probably just going to take that thing out and disassemble it, and we should be good to go. I mean, we're getting close. It's starting to get go time here, you know. So it's really starting to look like something. So anyway, I did want to update with the cross member and everything. You know, I feel pretty good about this because, like I said, I haven't seen any videos out there where somebody is installing the 850 cross member. So if you've got a project or you got some questions, if you need to know exactly where I cut, like I said, this is not a final fit right now. This is just in place and getting a pretty good, but it is going to work. So if you have any questions like that, just leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to tell you where I'm at, how I did it. So we'll see you next time, and hopefully we'll be ready for the primer.